निकटे अद्वैताश्रिणी वक्षक्षेत्रधारा निकटे अद्वैताश्रिणी बसी আছে গোরা চাঁদ রত্ন সিংহাসনে বসে আছে গোরা চাঁদ কি বসি আছে গোরা চাঁদ রত্ন সিংহাসনে বসে আছে आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगाने ठाकुर आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगाने नरहरि आदि करी चमर दुलाय नरहरि आदि संजय मुकुंद बासु गोसादि गाए संजय मुकुंद बासु गोसादि गाए किब शंख बजे घंटा बजे बजे करताला घंटा बजे मधुरा मृदंग बजे परम रसाला मधुरा मृदंग बजे परम रसाला शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे ए मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर मधुर शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल बहु कोटि चंद्रजिनी वदन उजाला बहु कोटि कि बहु कोटि चंद्रजिनी बदन उजाला गला देश बना माला करे झलमाला गला देश शिवा सुख ना रदा प्रेम गदा गादा शिवा किबा शिवा सुखाना रदा प्रेमे गदा गादा ठाकुर भाकाते बेनोदा देखी गौरार संपादा भक्ति विनोदा देखी गौरार संपादा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंदा हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Radhe. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Gaur Hari, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय गोपाल जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय श्री राधा माधव हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय राधे 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 गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद राधे गोविंद जय जय राधे गोपाल राधे गोविंद जय जय राधे गोपाल गोविंद राधे गोपाल राधे गोविंद राधे हे गोविंद राधे गोपाल राधे, हे राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमण, हे राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय, गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद, जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे हरे, जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, राधा माधव, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, हे गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय शिल प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद, जय शिल प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टार्य अष्टोदक श्रीमत श्री अभय चरणारविंद ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की जय हो। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टार्य अष्टोदक श्रीमत श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज परम गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की जय हो। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय हो। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हो। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय हो। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन धाम की जय हो। गंगा माई की जय हो, यमुना माई की जय हो, तुलसी महारानी की जय हो, वृंदावन मथुरा द्वारकापुरी धाम की जय हो, नीलाचल क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय हो, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माता जी की जय हो, श्री श्री राधा माधव जी की जय हो, गिरिराज गोवर्धन नाथ की जय हो, निताई गौर सुंदर भगवान की जय हो, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की जय हो। All glory to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glory to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glory to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glory, all glory, all glory, Sri Guru and Gauranga.
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय, नमस्ते नरसिंहाय,
हिरण्यकाशिपुरक्षः हिरण्यकाशिपुरक्षः शिलातङ्कनकालाय शिलातङ्कनकालाय इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो तो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो तो यामि ततो बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो बहिर् नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरेण कामभूत नरसिंह दलिता हिरण्यकशिपुतनुभृङ्गा केशवद्वैता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमलवरे न कामभूत नरसिंह दलिता हिरण्यकशिपुतनुभृङ्गा केशवद्वैता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज भक्ता प्रहलाद जय भक्ता प्रहलाद जय भक्ता प्रहलाद जय भक्ता प्रहलाद प्रहलाद जय भक्ता प्रहलाद गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
विघ्नवासी नरसिंह भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So on behalf of ISKCON Baltimore, we would like to welcome everyone to the abode of Nitai Gaur Sundar, Lord Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai, Giri Govardhan, and the most beautiful Shri Radha Madhav. Thank you all for coming for Sunday Love Feast. Appreciate all of you. Is anyone coming for the first time here? Krishna, what's your name? Crystal, loud Haribol, Crystal, please. Haribol. Thank you so much coming, Crystal. Appreciate that. If you have any questions, you have a very learned person next to you. And also, we have Premdam Prabhu here also. They can talk to you after also. Thank you so much. So, in the few days, we'll have a very wonderful festival. We have Lord Krishna's Janmashtami festival, appearance of Lord Krishna. We had almost 5,000 devotees were there. People were there. It was a wonderful festival. But we want to have even bigger festival. We wanted that many people, but decoration-wise, celebration-wise, we would have an even bigger celebration because Krishna gets happy when Radharani gets glorified more. So it's none other than appearance day of Srimad Radharani on Radha Ashtami, which is Wednesday, the 11th basically for that. But the day before, as custom, we call it Adivas. What Adivas is means Adi means before. So before the appearance of any deities or any celebration, Supreme Lord, we do a celebration festival there. So we have some special stuff. We got like Lord Kshatriya, things like that, jewelry. So we'll have a special, we'll have a yagya, and after that we'll have an Adivas ceremony. We will offer some ingredients to Lord and announce them, we welcome, and take the blessings of the whole festival goes really well. This pleases also. So please all be part of the celebration. Tuesday will be evening from 6 to 8 p.m. But on Wednesday will be 6 p.m. onwards till 9 p.m. basically. So please don't miss the opportunity for both days. So without taking too much time, we would like to welcome Grace Premdam Prabhuji, who's a returning speaker. I think Premdam Prabhu is very, very eloquent. He's a scientist by profession, but he's taking Krishna consciousness to heart and soul. He's the heart and soul of this book distribution in our temple. Under his guidance, so many wonderful souls have got these books itself, and their lives are changing. As it says that when you follow your guru, his footsteps, you get a lot of empowerment to Krishna. So he follows Guru very much, who's like a legend in all over the world. Vaishak Prabhu, who was there last week, was this amazing program. So without taking too much time, His Grace Premdam Prabhuji. We can have everybody come forward a little bit, so it'll be more closeless, more compact.
Yes, please come forward, everybody. I'm a vegetarian. I told you can come close. Because we fit like 5,000 people in this room. We'll keep coming in and best part. When you go out, you are wearing a garland, you go out, everybody's looking, where do you get that from? Because in this world, nobody's wearing garlands. It's only in a temple you'll see people making garlands and wearing garlands. Outside this, either if they're wearing something, they're artificial garlands made of fake flowers. So this is the only place to get good garlands. We'll sing a small song before we get into our discussion. This song was written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it glorifies the relationships that Krishna has in the spiritual world. The Krishna conscious movement, as Prabhupada gave us, it's about personalism. We have a relationship with Krishna. It's not impersonalist. You're not like he's sitting far off and I'm just paying obeisances to him. It doesn't work. We have a relationship with him. And that's one thing that Prabhupada came to demolish in this country. That is impersonalism. His pranam mantra says it. Nirvishesha shunyavadi paschatya deshatarine. That's what he came to do here. And that's what he instilled in his disciples. And that's what is being carried on. As long as we follow Prabhupada, we are okay. We are under his shelter. So understanding these personal relationships with Krishna infuses us with that emotional relationship with Krishna, which otherwise is missing. In this world, everybody's like a, how do you say it, same charge. So yeah, far off they are good, but the moment they come close, they start to repel each other. That happens every time. Love at first sight, divorce at first fight. Very frequently. So yes, we'll sing this song. Sing it in a call and response way. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Dhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivardhari Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Ati Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivardhari Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai the next slide. So, yes, once you have understood the relationship with Krishna, spiritual world, and aspire for that, the next thing is to understand that only your guru takes you there. Not a journey I can make by my own self. When your guru comes, when you are ready, the guru comes. When the disciple is ready, the guru comes. So if you all are ready, your guru is on the way. So we'll just say a prayer. If you know it, please, you can say it with me. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So, I thought that I'll just try to talk about some applications of Bhagavad Gita in our day-to-day lives. I put it as yoga for the modern age. And actually, yoga is for every age. We are in this modern age, called modern. So we'll talk about how does Bhagavad Gita fit into our day-to-day life? How can we apply the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita? The biggest question that people have is that this philosophy is very hard to follow. Arjun had this question. What you're saying to me makes sense, but that it's harder than controlling the wind. That's what Arjun said to Krishna. Before I start this, just for everybody knows about Bhagavad Gita. My friend Crystal there, okay? Perfect. So we'll talk about the realizations from Bhagavad Gita. But before that, let me just start with a question. I just want to start with a question. How many questions did Arjun ask Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita? That's a very political answer. I need a straightforward answer. Tell me. 18 questions. You can remember 18 chapters, 18 questions. But it's not like he asks one question every chapter. In some chapters, he asks more than one question. This is a list. I won't go through the whole list, but I just wanted to show it to you that there are 18 questions that Krishna asked. The reason I brought this up was because the word question comes from quest. So quest means to search for something. And it comes from medieval times when soldiers would go out looking for the Holy Grail. So it's that kind of a quest. Right? And so everybody's journey, right, starts with a question. And that's why I pointed out that there were 18 questions that Arjun asked. If not for Arjun's asking questions, the Bhagavad Gita wouldn't have come out. Krishna would have spoken some way or the other. But then the way Arjun asked questions, Krishna answered them, made it a perfect book for all of us take and also ask questions, learn from it. You know anybody whose journey started as from questions? Anybody, any famous personality journey started as questions, with questions. Very good answer, I like that. Anybody else? Give it a try. Parikshit Maharaj, that's a very good answer. Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah, see, and now comes out. See, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is about question answers. And that is why in the first canto, second chapter, Sutta Goswami says this, Punya sadhu prishtoham bhavad bhir lokamanga, yat krita Krishna inatma supra. That because you have asked me these questions and they are for the welfare of all, I'll answer them. Ye inatma suprasidati. Prasid, all prasanna, like happiness. But su, when you add the prefix su to any word, it becomes manifold, increases. It becomes su. So su prasidati. That these questions that were asked by the sages in Naimisharanya to Sutta Goswami, but for welfare of every single living entity. That is why each and every single person should read the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada said every intelligent person should have a Bhagavatam set at their house. We have more than one TV in our house. Why not more than one Bhagavatam set? Some people say, I already have it. No, we should have a set on every floor so that we cannot make an excuse. Oh, it's downstairs and I... Okay, so there was another personality that, who asked questions. Buddha. Lord Buddha, he's also there in the talked about it. briefly. So he started his journey with a question. One day, he came out of the confines of that royal palace that he would live in. He went on the streets by himself. His father didn't expose him to that because there was some astrologer who had told him that your son will leave. And then he goes out and he sees people are in misery, people are getting old, people have anxiety, people are dying. And the question that he asks is, what is the cause of this misery? Now, that's a very smart question to ask. What is the cause of this misery? That's what he asked, and that's what started his contemplative and enlightening journey. And we know what happened after that. Ashoka, the king Ashoka, he followed him, and then he spread it across major part of Southeast Asia country. Buddhism spread. But that's a big question to ask, right? And it was a bridge that he crossed over that day, from being a prince all the way to become an enlightened. His journey started with a. And Socrates said that an unexamined life is not worth living. If you're not examining our lives, not asking questions, then it's not worth living. Right? And similarly, the opening statement of Vedanta Sutra. So the word Vedanta means, Anta means end, Veda means, as we all know, Vedas, the scriptures. There is the four Vedas, the Puranas, the Itihas, the Upanishad, the Aranakas, Samhitas, everything. Vyasadeva wrote everything, and then he compiled, and towards the end he put Vedanta. And the first aphorism he put in Vedanta was Athato Brahmo Jigyasa. Jigyasa means that you should have this curiosity. Athato means now that you have this human birth, ask a question. And if you're not asking the question, you're missing out on this. Some people fear asking questions. No, I'm fine with the status quo. But no, you should ask questions. A couple of days ago, I was in one of my meetings, and I asked a question. And then eventually there was more work on my plate because I asked that question. But then I asked a question, and it really improved the work that we were doing. But then more work on mine. So animals also ask questions, but their questions are limited to only four things: eating, where can I get food? Sleeping, can I sleep? Will somebody come and kick me off? Can I sleep in this corner? Can I just lay down on the road? In India, we have free space for animals. They can lie on the road in any corner. So we have eating, sleeping, and they're always looking for where's my girlfriend? Where's my boyfriend? They're all looking for them. And so that's another thing. And then the last thing is defending. They all are very, very much interested in having their own area. So, but then if we also ask the same questions, how do I differentiate myself from an animal? I would ask that question. So if I also eat, I sleep, I have a family, I defend myself, I have a house, you buy that A1 security system, put it in front of our house saying that this house is secure. So if I'm also doing the exact same thing, what's the difference? What is it that I should do make me stand apart as a human? And so to survive, you can still ask those four questions: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But if you want to really be happy, you have to ask questions that are pertinent to us being. Anybody think of a question that animals cannot ask, but as humans can ask? Think of a question. Happy, what is my purpose? Why am I here? A very good question. Why am I here? Yes, bro. More to life? Yeah, there's always more to life, but if we get so much absorbed in the daily rituals that we are doing, forget what's beyond that. Yes, man. God, who am I? Yeah. That's the questions we all should ask, and we all are asking. Right, so in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjun asked three kinds of questions. If you go through the whole Bhagavad Gita, there are three kinds of questions he asked. The first thing he says, this question is beyond my understanding. Krishna, are you asking me to fight or asking me to? I'm confused here. Vyami Shrena Vakyena, Buddhir Mohe Sevame. Arjun says that in the 3rd chapter. Vyami Shrena. You are giving me equivocal instructions. Please give me a clear instruction. So there were some things that he didn't understand. But then there were some things he understood, but he did not believe them. The 4th chapter, Krishna tells him, Imam Vivasvate Yogan, Proktavanaham Avyaya. That millions of years ago, I spoke this knowledge to sun god. And Arjun is like, Krishna, we both are of the same age. I just cannot believe what you're saying. And then, third kind of questions, he understood them, believed them, but he couldn't practice them. So he says that at one point. Doing this, controlling my senses is harder than controlling the wind. So we all have these kind of questions. So Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna do then? He gives answers in a way that they're practical, that you could pick it up and practice it. Then the other thing that Krishna does is that he motivates Arjun. It's not that he just tells the story and just walks away. He gives him, so he says, Kaunteya, you're son of Kunti. You're coming from such a royal background. He calls him Purusha Vyagraha. Purusha Vyagraha means lion in men. 18th chapter, Krishna calls Purusha Vyagraha. So Krishna is also motivating him, right? So he's motivating, he's giving it practically, and he's also telling how to do it. Krishna says this, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Praj. That you can offer me a leaf, a flower, water, a fruit. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prachati Tadaham Bhakti Uparatam Nami Priyatatmana. The only condition he's putting in there is it should. So he's given us a very, very practical path. Follow the Bhagavad Gita, to be motivated with it, and also how to do it. So he's given us the whole package. That's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. That's why I put the word, modern age, because we all need that. If there is something that we are not doing, it's because we are missing one of these things. Either we don't know how to do it, either we're not inspired, or it's just not practical. So Krishna does all three of them. So that's the beauty of asking questions. So, but the important thing is that we should also not have blind faith. Right? We should ask questions, and we should also not have blind doubt. So I just explained we should not have blind faith. We should ask questions. But then on the other end of the spectrum, we should also not have blind doubt. I'll just believe whatever is being told to me, and then I'll move forward with that. No, we should learn to question. That's what I'm trying to stress upon. So neither blind faith nor blind doubt. Let me tell you a story. I all like story. Once there was a priest, and he was teaching his disciples how to do a particular ritual. Okay. And he said, okay, so everything was there. He taught them the whole setup and everything. But there was a cat that continued to disturb them. Sometimes she would jump in from the window. Sometimes she would come from the door and try to just some nuisance there. The priest was a wise guy. What he did was he asked for a bowl of milk. The cat drank it, and then he bought a basket for the cat and put the cat in it, and he just petted her, and then he did his ritual. Many years later, his disciples are now doing the same ritual, and they're doing all the preparations. Everything is ready. Suddenly, one of the disciples says, "Wait a minute, we don't have the main ingredient." So what is that? Cat in the basket. He said, "Oh yes, our teacher did that. Get a cat." Okay, they got a cat. Feed the cat milk. Okay, now put it to sleep. Oh, it's not sleeping. No, they put it to sleep. Somehow they locked her in the basket, and then they did the ritual. So, questioning is very important. Otherwise, that's where the phrase "cat in the basket" comes from. That if we just follow blindly, then will always be a cat in the basket. And if somebody comes and asks us, "Why are you doing this?" I don't know. Told me to do it. So we should always ask questions. That makes our, how do you say it? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that gives us chit rakta, gives you spiritual blood. Siddhanta baliye chitte na karalash, iha hoite Krishna lage sudrida manas. Saying when you go deep into Shastra, you ask the right questions, then you become sudrida. Your manas means mind, it becomes sudrida. It becomes very strong. Your mind becomes very strong. Right? So, and it's not just in Bhagavad Gita, and all throughout. Bible, it was said, ask and it shall be given to you. Other scriptures talk of a similar aspect. Because we all are suffering from the same problems. Whatever background you were born in, whatever religion we were brought up in, we are exactly asking the same questions, right? Who am I? That was one of the questions. Am I really important? What's my impact? Right? Asking these questions. Everybody is, indirectly or directly, we are all asking these. Like for example, am I important? That's a big question to all us. And we try to bring importance in whatever we do. Right? There was once this big industrialist. He ordered this machine from Ohio. It went all the way to India. A beautiful machine, and it had this beautiful name of the company written on this metal plate, and it was screwed onto the machine, and just, beautiful. One day, one of the screws fell off that machine. And then it was kicked around in the industry, wherever it was in that area, and then it landed up in the street. Value of that one screw is now. But till the time it was a part of that machine, it was holding up the name of that machine and the name of the manufacturer. It was doing a big job. So similarly, understanding my importance is very necessary for me to understand who I am. So it's very important that we ask these questions, get answers from it, and then we progress. So yeah, just take this world as a classroom. Ask the right questions and you can just move on, progress. That's the most important part. That's why I just wanted to spend some time. I spent minutes on this. Okay, so the question part. Okay, so yes, as I was saying, question helps us find the way, right? So you all can start our spiritual journey wherever we are by asking these questions. The entire Srimad Bhagavatam, there are people at different levels. There are people like, Dhruv Maharaj who have practically seen Krishna. There are people, like Puranjana who have no clue what they're doing. So there are people in all walks of life. But you will notice that everybody asks questions whenever they meet a self-realized. And most of the time it's Narad Muni. He's the best character, at least personally, he's my favorite character in Bhagavad. He just gives perfect knowledge to him. So yes, so we all can start our spiritual quest by asking the right questions. Okay, but before I jump in, I use the word yoga in my title slide, so I just want to talk a bit about yoga. So yoga, it's a Sanskrit word which means to link. So yoke, the English word yoke comes from yoga. Yoke is to unite, right? And what are we connecting to? We're connecting with ourselves, our true nature. That's what Bhagavad Gita teaches. Connecting with ourselves. That's the most important. It helps us find that inner peace, as it says, that we are looking for, which is not available anywhere else. Because by nature, this world is meant to be dissatisfying. That's the basic nature. And I put 3 things down there. These are the 3 kind of miseries that we all have to go through. The first one, the guy with his hand on his forehead, that's adhyatmika, something that I create for my own self. That I jumped the red light because I had to reach somewhere, and then I get a $400 ticket. And my photo is there on it. I cannot say my wife did it. So adhyatmik klesha. There. So then adi bhautik, what others do to it. We haven't forgotten COVID. A microorganism that you even can't see created havoc in the whole world. The whole world shut down. Then is adi daivik, coming from material nature. You can say daivik means demigods, or coming from material nature. Famines and tornadoes and whatnot. So all that is, it's by nature, place of difficulty. So connecting. But then one thing what is yoga is not. Now you'll be very interested to know that why did Krishna speak the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun? Why not anybody else? Reason being because Arjun was a householder. 99% and practically everybody in this room is a householder, or probably walking towards that path if you're right there. So Krishna knew that in the future, you're not going to expect a lot of brahmacharis, sannyasis around. So most of them will be householders. So I want to speak it to a householder. That's what he did, right? And then he spoke the Bhagavad Gita in the middle of a battlefield. The reason he did that was to tell how important this is. Why would he speak in the Bhagavad Gita to somebody who's about to make a decision of killing 1 million people? Right? In the middle of it, and he's just freaking out. Arjun was freaking out. Why would Krishna bring this up? Just because it's so important. That is why we should pick up the Bhagavad Gita wherever we can. Bhagavad Gita is not a retirement plan that, okay, when I retire, my bones are not working fine, then I will pick up Bhagavad Gita. Do that. We pick up as early as we can. It's not a retirement plan. And it's not a renounce everything plan either. We can be wherever we are and still practice the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. That's the beauty, right? That's the beauty of the whole process. Okay, so now coming to an interesting part. So I put one thing in here is inner peace, okay? I'm going to change tracks now. So tell me something that happened recently, probably last year, in India, which only 3 countries before India were able to do. India was just the 4th country to do that. It's a big achievement. Ryan, yes. So, I don't know.
US and China and The Chandrayaan 3 space on the South Pole. Already
land valuable.
So we have to make this temporary arrangement clear. But yes, so we talked about inner peace. But contrary to that, we have gone way beyond this. We have gone all the way to Mars, to Moon. And you'll be amazed to know that this happened. Thank you, bro. In less than 100 years. So it was less than 100 years ago that the Wright brothers flew an aircraft in North Carolina. And in less than 100 years, we have created a spacecraft to go to Mars. Just imagine how much progress we have made, right? But then, this is innately our human nature to inquire, to be curious about what's there beyond this. So that's our nature. We want to explore. We want to take a journey. We want to go in the unknown, because the soul is Chit. Right? There are three qualities of the soul: Sat, Chit, and Anand. Sat means we are eternal. We never die. That Krishna clarifies in the Bhagavad. Chit means we are conscious, we are aware, we are curious. And Ananda means we are bliss. We are always in bliss. So we have developed so many technologies just based on this one human nature of being Chit, being conscious, being exploratory in nature, right? But this has led us to focus a lot on the outside world and very little on the inside. And that's a big problem right there, right? If we could invest the same amount of curiosity, energy that we are doing in investing what the world's outside, and we could invest the same amount of energy investing what's inside, we will discover what we are looking for, right? So Krishna says in the second chapter, Prajahati yada kaman, sarva partha manogathan, atmani evatmana tushta, sita pragya tadochate. Krishna says that manogathan, when you focus within, atmani evatmana tushta. Tushta means happy, satisfied. You become satisfied when you look inside. That's what we all are looking for, satisfaction, right? But then we are not doing that anymore. We're not looking inside anymore. And that's what Bhagavad Gita really wants us to do, look inside. There was this pastor at one of the churches in California, I think. His name was Bob Moorhead. And he said one beautiful thing. He said we have taller buildings, but very narrow, wider freeways, but very narrow thinking. I have a lot of knowledge, but very little wisdom. I have lot many degrees, right? But then I don't have common sense anymore. So these basic things are missing. So what Krishna is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita is learn to balance it. Right? Balance your outer curiosity with your inner curiosity. And then our life will be perfect. Because without that inner curiosity, as I said, we are no better than others. We'll do the exact same thing we're doing. Right? So a lot more gadgets, but less satisfaction. So yes, we should venture out in the outer space, but we should also venture into the inner space. Otherwise, we'll just always be frustrated. Every morning we'll wake up with anxiety. And if we watch the news, for sure coming. So yes, so that's what yoga is about, and focusing within. That's one important message coming from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is Arjun Vishad Yogo Nama. Vishad means despair. It means dissatisfaction. And it's very interesting how the first chapter is about despair and dissatisfaction, right? And the reason why Krishna put it that way is because dissatisfaction is good for us. Now that might be a bit of a surprise. Why is dissatisfaction good for us? Because dissatisfaction is a precursor for happiness. If we are not dissatisfied, we will never inquire. I'll be happy in my comfort zone. I'll never come out of it. If I have to come out of my comfort zone, I'll have to ask these questions. I'll have to be dissatisfied. That is why Krishna points in that direction. In the 8th chapter, Krishna says, Mam upetya punar janma dukhalayam ashashvatam. Can somebody tell me the meaning of dukhalayam as I drink my water? Dukhalayam. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Yes, pustakalaya, bhojanalaya where you get food, pustakalaya where you get books. Yes, it's a place of misery. So if Krishna is saying this, and on the contrary, I'm trying to, make a life that is satisfied, very contradictory. It's not going to happen. It's just going to create more anguish in my life. But then the good thing is that when the dissatisfaction come and we take it as a precursor, that's something Krishna sent for me to learn and to take the lesson from it and move forward. Then the dissatisfaction becomes perfect. Then it's very, very helpful for me. Right? That's what Bhagavad Gita is explaining to us. So how does dissatisfaction help us? The moment we are dissatisfied and we realize that this is a moment for me to take a lesson, suddenly I'm freeing myself from all the cluttering that's coming because I'm dissatisfied, I'm trying to fix it. All the energy consumption that's happening because of it goes away. And suddenly I have a lot more energy. There's renewed energy to improve. Now that I'm suddenly feeling that I'm going to start over. Fine, yeah, dissatisfied, something went wrong. Okay, no problem, right? But then I'm going to now, so that there's more energy available to me, right? And the other thing that it does is that when dissatisfaction comes and I take it as a lesson, it's an opportunity for change in my life. It's an opportunity that there's something that I need to change. I'm dissatisfied, right? As they say, there's a saying that there are no atheists in a foxhole. So foxhole, if you know, foxhole is a place that in the war, the soldiers dig it in the earth, they make a small hole for themselves, and so that they can hide when they're shooting the enemy and that they can hide. But there is no outlet to it. So if at one end the enemy comes and stands, there is no way of getting out of it. So when you are in a very desperate situation, you always look towards the higher cause. You know, look for something philosophical. That's the way everybody does. So there is, no atheist in foxhole. Everybody become a believer when they're in a foxhole, when you're in a situation of despair. Right? So like somebody bumped your car. You then, you take their insurance details, you give them your insurance details. But what after that? You just have to tell yourself, yeah, fine, it's just a car, it'll get fixed. Yeah, might be my insurance cost might go up and all that. But then you just detach yourself from it. So dissatisfaction pushes us into a philosophical direction. That's very, very important for us. And that's what Krishna teaches us in Bhagavad Gita. He's not trying to demotivate us by telling that it's a place of misery. Just telling us that you are trying to look for happiness in the wrong place. Just change your direction. That's what Krishna is doing, right? So then how do you use this dissatisfaction is that you should ask questions. As we talked about questions in the beginning, so that'll be kind of a stream throughout. Ask questions. Ask questions to people whom you consider are responsible enough or who are taking directions in the right, taking steps in the right direction. There are so many self-realized souls that you might meet who are very mature, very wise. You can ask them questions. That, hey, I'm going through this. But then what's the way of asking questions? That's another thing, right? So I put this verse here. If you know this verse, you can sing it with me. It's a very beautiful verse. Karpanya dosho pahata subhava prachami tvam dharma samhura cheta yachreyasaya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. The most important thing is that in the last line, Arjuna is saying, I'm your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. You cannot ask somebody a spiritual question at a gunpoint. I need an answer right now. Nobody's going to give you that answer. So that's the attitude we need to have. And I'll talk more about this attitude. So yes, yoga of despair and dissatisfaction. That's why it starts at that point. Bhagavad Gita starts at that point. Because we need to be dissatisfied to turn philosophical and start asking questions. And if we don't do that, going back, we're nothing better than animals. Okay, so now the second question, as I ended in the earlier section, that, okay, fine, yes, finding somebody, but how do I find somebody? What's the right way? Whom should I take guidance from? Who are the leaders to look up to in today's world? So I just wanted to bring out another thing that recently happened. Trump became the first president ever in the history of the United States to be impeached twice. And he's the president of the most powerful country in the world. He's a leader. And similar things happened in UK. What's that guy's name? Boris he was into scandals, he had to resign. And so, yes, so, but I'll just quickly show you this video. Are you off this one?
Happy with the benefits packages he proposed. He's getting minimal questions.
President Trump has been down this road before. Just over a year ago, the House impeached him on December 2019 on 2 charges: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Both concerned allegations that he improperly sought help from Ukraine to boost his re-election chances. However, the Senate acquitted him on both charges in February 2020. Donald Trump is the first president in U.S. history to be impeached twice. He's only one of 3 presidents to ever be impeached. The first, President Andrew Johnson in 1868, followed 130 years later by President Bill Clinton in 1998. Both were acquitted.
Despite it,
Became the first president to be impeached twice. That's the kind of leaders we are looking. And I'm not judging him. Has his own, probably his own thought around what he's doing. But then, okay, yes. So, but the thing is that what Krishna asks us in the Bhagavad Gita, he's saying that we all are leaders in one sense. We all are accountable for something. For example, many of us are parents. Our kids look up to us. Go to work, you might have a team that you're collaborating with. There, your leadership. So we all are leaders in one sense or the other. But then, so what Krishna is saying is, how do you approach somebody? So that's the first thing that I wanted to show here. So Krishna says 3 things: pranipatena, pariprashnena, and sevaya. There's 3 words there. So when you reach a self-realized soul, when you find somebody who is mature and wise and ripe in spiritual knowledge, please be submissive and render service to that person, and then ask the questions. Because if you please that person, the person will automatically open his or her heart to you. And Krishna is asking us to do that. How do you approach a self-realized soul, right? And then I mentioned the event about Trump, right? So that's something that Krishna also says, that, yeah, fine, Krishna is asking us to walk on a spiritual journey. But then Krishna is also telling us that while you are in this world, live an exemplary life. Because you have some responsibility towards people who are looking up to you. Yad yad acharati shreshthas tatta devataro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanuvartate. So whatever great people do, everybody, common men, follow them. So we all are responsible. So we all have to take responsibility, right? So that's one of the main contributions that we can make, is our own character in this world. That's Krishna is stressing a lot on that in Bhagavad Gita. He gives so many things for character building, right? So one of the most important things you can do is be exemplary. Be exemplary, that people can look up to you. They can just walk. You should walk your talk. Right? There was this famous saint, Saint Francis of Assisi, and he would tell his disciples that you should preach 24 hours, and you can also speak sometimes. So he's telling you that your action speaks louder than your words. That's what he recommended, and that's what Krishna is recommended. That please, be because Arjun was saying that I'm going to leave, I'm going to go and beg. But then there were millions of people who were looking up to Arjun. Arjun cannot do that. That's what Krishna wanted. Right? So that's the other thing. That's another thing that we can do and can pick up from the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, another thing that Krishna speaks about again and again in Bhagavad Gita is asks us to simplify our lives. So it's something that's mentioned throughout the Shastras, right? So what does simplify mean? Give me some thoughts. Tell me something, some human interaction here. What do you mean by simplifying your life? What would you do to simplify your life? Not complicate, yes? That's a very good definition. Yes. Yeah, by clearing out things that we don't need. That we don't want, right? Or need we should keep. Yes. So that's a very important message Krishna gives again and again in Bhagavad Gita. Make your life simple. Don't be envious of others. Take everybody as your friend. Don't unnecessarily clutter your mind. Steve Jobs would wear that one black turtleneck and those blue jeans and those white shoes for many, many years. He was a billionaire, he could wear anything he wanted. The only reason he did that because he wanted to declutter his life, wanted to simplify his life. And simplifying our life, simplification is a quality of a Brahmana in Bhagavad Gita. Right? And that we hear that again and again. In Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami tells us, Atyahara priyasascha, that destroys our bhakti. Atyahara means accumulating more than what we need. Prayas means endeavoring over endeavoring than what is needed. That's what Rupa Goswami tells us in Nectar of Instruction. And I put a quote from Stephen Covey there, and he says that the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. That's the main thing. So first of all, we have to find what's our main thing in our life. That's the most important thing. Find out what's your main thing, what's your purpose, what's your goal. And once you have found that, make your life, design your life around that. Declutter your life and bring it around that one plan of simplifying. I think I had something here also. This is something. Before I go in, how many of you know who is Sam Bankman-Fried? I need to. Perfect. Yes. So Sam Bankman, he was. I don't know. I'm not a finance guy, but he was into crypto, and then he used billions of dollars of his investors in living a lavish lifestyle and also funding his other company which was in losses. And he was recently sentenced to, it says 25, but then I read he was sentenced to over 100 years of prisoning. But I don't know. 25 is also a lot. But before I go on, I show you this video. Tell me, how old was Sam Bankman-Fried? Can you tell me? Let's look at his picture and tell me. What do you think how old he is? Yeah, he was just 31 years old. Imagine 31, your life is in front of you. People easily live up to 80, if you're lucky 100. His whole life is gone. Why? Because he was doing, as I was saying, atyahara and process, over endeavoring. More than what you need, more than what you can assimilate. Instead of making it simple, he was making his life more and more complex. I'll just quickly show this video. Visual again.
Sam Bankman-Fried, a former CEO of failed crypto exchange FTX, reportedly sentenced to 25 years in prison by a Manhattan federal judge after a jury found him guilty on 7 charges last fall for money laundering to securities fraud. Manhattan federal judge Kaplan, who presided over that trial last fall, pointed to testimony from Bankman-Fried's former colleague Carolyn Ellison, saying that he knew what he did was wrong and that he knew that Alameda was spending customer funds on risky investments. Kaplan saying that Sam Bankman-Fried perjured his testimony during a trial. Kaplan saying, quote, "People need to feel it's fair or we're back to trial by combat or something like it. So punishment must fit the seriousness of the crime, and this was a serious crime."
It was a serious crime. Just to let you know that the girl they showed there, that was his girlfriend. The people you think you're close to you, they'll run away with the first thing. They'll bail on you. So yes, so simplify our lives. Don't make it complex. Don't do things that are not needed. Don't unnecessarily. Focus, whatever extra energy you have, you focus on your spiritual life. That makes our life perfect. Okay, and I'm conscious of time, so I'll just see what else next is there. Have anything? Yes, so there's a quote there, that verse I put there. In the 14th chapter, Krishna explains about the 3 modes of nature. That's goodness, passion, and ignorance. And each one of us has it. We all have it. There's always a war going on between us, between goodness, passion, and ignorance. No? But then the practices that we do, as they say, knowledge plus practice is equal to wisdom. When we keep reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we practice what we are being told by Guru, by Prabhupada, that leads to wisdom. So we don't do stupid things like Sam Bankman-Fried. So this verse here, it's telling us, Krishna is talking about the mode of passion. So in mode of passion, the symptoms are great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. So we're seeing examples in the real world, and I'm trying my best to correlate it to Bhagavad Gita to explain that how Bhagavad Gita is very, very practical and you could apply it in your life. We have to be intelligent. We have to learn from reading. Okay, another thing of simplifying, I just wanted to show you this. This is one of my favorite so-called circles. There is a circle of influence in the middle. Things that you can influence. Okay, tell me some things that you can influence. Yeah, what time you wake up? Yes, that's a good thing. Anything else you can influence? Yes. I don't think that you can control your position, right? Like Steve Jobs was kicked out of his own company. He was the CEO, and suddenly the board of directors come and tell him, we don't need you now. So I don't think, no, power is not under our control. So this circle of influence is very, yes, please. What we think, yes? Ipsita, you're adding something more? No, I was saying, what are the things under our influence, what we can control? That's what I meant. Sorry. So there are very little things that are under our influence. But then there's a bigger circle that's around a circle of concern. Now you can be concerned about anything in this world, like, hey, there was this airplane many years ago that disappeared, the Malaysian Airlines. No, not a good thing. We all are sad it disappeared. But then can I do anything about it? No, I cannot. It's beyond my concern, beyond my circle of influence. So there will be so many things that we bring into unnecessarily try to worry about, which are not even under our control, which are in the circle of concern, which are not even under a circle of influence. So that's one important thing you can do is very consciously sit down and understand, is this thing in my influence or not? If it's not, kick it out. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, this I think is my last point. I'm right in dot, chat for minutes, and then we'll have a couple of minutes for questions. Charity. Another important thing that Krishna highlights in the Bhagavad Gita, and the 17 chapters, this is in 18, but 17 he gives us about charity in detail. In 18, I put this verse here, that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. So Krishna is asking that don't give up charity at all. Right? Somebody might say, I'm a self-realized soul. I don't need to do any more charity. I don't need any more penances. No, Krishna is saying it's very important for you to continue doing that. And why do we need to continue doing charity? Because in this world, knowingly or unknowingly, we'll continue to do some sins. It's near to impossible that we don't do any sin, unless we become a pure devotee. Like, we can talk about Prabhupada. Okay, Prabhupada was 29 or 24/7 conscious of Krishna. So everything what he was doing was transcendental. But for me, because I'm still, my boat is shaking in this world, I'm doing sins. That is why charity helps me counter that. Right? Now, what is charity? Right? Krishna explains this in the Bhagavad Gita. There are 3 kinds of charities. Ignorance, in passion, and in goodness. Ignorance, charity. Let me give you an example. 11 o'clock, a drunk guy coming out of a bar, he comes out and the beggar approaches him. Sir, please, can you give me something? And he says, here, take this bottle of alcohol. Like they say in India, right? Tu bhi kya yaad rakhega. Right? Like that kind of an attitude. So that's charity in a mode of ignorance. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong person, wrong intention. So that's the charity in ignorance. Charity in passion. Might be the right place, right time, everything might be right, but the intention might be wrong. You might be doing it just because I can get fame. I want my name in the paper. I want people to remember me. Oh God, I want somebody to put a plaque of my name in front of the hospital that I contributed to. That's in passion. And in goodness is where you're just doing it as a sense of duty. I have to do it because it's purifying me. And that's what Krishna asks us. Do it in a mode of goodness. Obviously, charity can be beyond these 3 modes also. As long as these are 3 modes, they are still in this material world. We get either good karma or bad karma. Karma is always there. There is transcendental charity. Krishna speaks about in the last 18 chapter, last few verses, that whoever gives this knowledge to others becomes very, very dear to me. It becomes transcendental. This process becomes transcendental, right? So charity is very important according to the time, place, and circumstance. And I think I had one thing in here. Yes, the tale of 2 seas. So in Israel, there are 2 seas, and you might have heard of it already. Might be a bit of a cliché. But there is a sea of, this is the Sea of Galilee. There are lakes, they call them seas, I don't know why. And there's the Dead Sea. Now, as you all know, Dead Sea is Dead Sea. Nothing gets out of it alive. Every organism that goes in there, it's a lot of salt in there. But the Sea of Galilee is a beautiful lake. It's always there. The land around it is very fertile. So it's a tale of two seas. Now the reason why the Dead Sea is because it does not give anything out. And Sea of Galilee is very vibrant and very fertile land around it, because as the water comes from the river of Jordan, it gives it away. It gives it to the Dead Sea. So giving is important, because if we don't give, it stagnates. And just to strengthen my statement, I'll show you a few things, and those will be the last things that I'll show you. I'll show you three people who do charity. These are billionaires you're talking about. Warren Buffett, his lifetime giving is $42.8 billion. Bill and Melinda Gates, 30 billion, close to $30 billion giving donation, charity. Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan, $2.7 billion they gave. Actually, as a matter of fact, when COVID happened, 2022, can you imagine how much charity was given in this country alone, United States? Give me a number. Think and give me a number. Anybody? 5 billion? Okay. Else? 40 billion. You're far off from the number, just to give you a hint. 100? Yeah, still far off. $500 billion. Charity given, because it was COVID happening, everybody wanted to give. $500 billion worth of charity was given in 2020 alone. And another important thing is, out of that $500 billion, close to $200 billion came from the top 25 billionaires in this country. Somebody can ask, what's going on with these guys? Why do they want to give? Why do they have to give money? They're billionaires. Nobody's going to come and ask them, they don't have to give. It's their hard-earned money. But what they have learned is that, even though they don't understand the concept that I'm explaining it, but they have kind of figured it out. It's a sacrifice. When you give charity, it's a sacrifice. And when you give something in, it comes back to you. But if you don't give, the tale of the two seas, as I was saying, if you don't give it out, it stagnates. It just sticks there. It doesn't grow. That's why we should give away. Before somebody comes and takes it away from us. You might get a spam call and, hey, invest in our business and it'll double in a week. And you said, yeah, let me give it a try, just $10,000. And next, those 10,000 are gone. And probably they hack your bank account and everything else is gone. It's not going to happen. But just giving a scenario. But yes, so give charity, not just, okay, this is a reason, yes, but then for our own purification. Bhagavad Gita stresses a lot on that. Purification, that's what's necessary for spiritual growth. Right? It's very much important that we give out. And another important thing, when you give in charity, the reason people give in charity and feel good is because it's been scientifically proven that when you give something in charity, the centers in your brain, which centers in the brain get activated, they're the same ones which get activated when you meet a loved one, when you eat your favorite food, when somebody gives you a love-filled gift, or so those same centers are stimulated when you give something in charity. So people have understood this. And I think this is my last slide, and ask a question. It's like a hook. This is a picture I borrowed from the book, The 4 Questions. But yes, ask a question. It pulls you out of the crowd. Yes, Param Pavani. Sorry, I'm going deaf, as my wife says. I don't hear her. So,
Prabhuji, you gave the example as a tale of two seas. In which context? I couldn't.
In giving. Dead Sea does not give anything out. Whatever goes to the Dead Sea just stays there. If any animal goes there, they're going to die. Because so much is going, there's a lot of salt there. Nothing comes out of it. On the contrary, the Sea of Galilee, river of Jordan brings water to it, fresh water, it just gives it away. So it becomes a habitat for fish, other organisms to live, and then the land becomes very fertile. So similarly, our heart becomes fertile when we give. If you just keep it to yourself, it's going to stagnate. It rots up. That's the example.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Thoughts, comments, anything you can say. You can say, Premadam, what good slides. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu, for a great talk. So sometimes one may not be in association with a bona fide or realized soul. Can reading the scriptures also answer our questions if it was an authorized type of scripture like the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita? Can we get all the answers in just reading those books?
Yes, Prabhu, they can. However, we should strive that we can get, but I understand the situation you're putting forth. Once in 1972, Los Angeles, Prabhupada was there in Los Angeles, and there was this group of devotees who would distribute books. They were brought to him and introduced Prabhupada. These are the book distributors in Los Angeles. And Prabhupada told them that I've not just written these books for distribute. I want you all to read and go back home, back to Godhead. And he also said that when I'm gone, you will not miss me because I've put everything in the book. So we can get Prabhupada's association by the books. So whenever we read Prabhupada's books, we should not just read it as scriptures, literature. Yes, it's profound, very informative. But then we should see that we are associating with Prabhupada right there. That's why this movement is going on, because we have a connection with Prabhupada. So yes, but then to add that, Prabhu, yes, you should try your best if you can get, because the book is a very passive medium. It cannot correct you. But a teacher or a mentor or a friend, he can correct you if you're doing something wrong. Anything else? Anyone? Questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much. It was very nice. While thinking about what you explained, asking a question, I was thinking that for the Arjuna or Parikshit Maharaj or Dhruv Maharaj, they asked those questions in a very difficult circumstances and the challenging situation. The background is very difficult. They are in a great distressed situation. And when they received that knowledge, the receptivity was so high, they could accept that. Being Parikshit Maharaj about to die, Dhruv Maharaj has been, so much bad word has been spoken to him. Arjuna also same situation, going to kill his own relative. And same thing if you go Bhagavatam. So in the background is very, very difficult. And at that time they ask those questions, they could receive it, accept it, follow it, and done. In our situation, we don't have such serious condition. We ask, we get some intellectual knowledge, don't really take it to the heart. But when something very difficult comes, at that time when we ask question and we could really feel and sense it that time. So these situations, these backgrounds do matters a lot. Yes. So maybe you can explain in those lines, Prabhuji.
Yes, no, I agree with you, Prabhu. They had very dire situations where they started asking these questions. And in the Nectar of Instruction, the first verse, Prabhupada explains there are 4 kinds of intelligent people. Some people who just learn by hearing. There's some who don't even learn by hearing. Some people who learn by seeing. So there are 4 kinds. Prabhupada explains it in the first verse. So yes, it requires a significant amount of intelligence to ask questions and to realize that what I think looks good is actually not good. It requires some amount of intelligence. I totally agree with you. And it also is it's also to some extent our accumulated piety that makes us ask those questions. For example, you give the example of Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj could easily have reversed the curse he got. But he didn't do that. Because he had that intelligence and that wiseness that no, this is something Krishna is trying to do. He could have reversed it and lived his life happily. But he accepted it. So yes, I totally agree that it has to be a dire situation. But then if we are intelligent enough, we don't have to wait for those dire situations. And then again, it's not like asking questions, we have to ask those big questions right away. You can ask small questions. How can I be of service? Or something very simple like that, right? That, hey, today, like for example, when I go to work, I see people working very hard, like workaholics, 7 to 9 in the evening, 7 in the morning to 9 in the evening. And I always question myself, do I want to do that? The answer comes, no, I don't want to do it. Even though I get a lot of push from my peers at work, don't do it. So it's not that you have to just ask those big questions. You can have a question at any situation in your life. I gave you one of my situations. It could be at home, you have kids growing up. And your kid can come and say, oh, I want to see this movie, I want to go and see this movie. And you know that that movie is probably a horror movie or something. You don't want your kid to see it. So you take a decision, you ask this question, will it be good for him? So it's not just that we have to ask the big questions right away. We can start with even small questions. We can break down our day-to-day activities in questions. And when the dire situation comes, you ask those big questions. But yes, I totally agree with you. That is why dissatisfaction, I was saying, it's a precursor to happiness. We can be happy if we are dissatisfied. We're lucky. Then we make quick progress, like Dhruv Maharaj. Yeah, thank you for that question. That was a very good question, Prabhu. Thank you. I think we are at 6:10. I don't want to keep you. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, wonderful class. I have one question. So how to define our circle of influence? Because as we are in this material world, with lot of things we think we can control and we can do, but because of this material things, under illusion, we think we can control this, it's controllable, but it's not. So how to define that, that our circle of influence, what we can control, what is uncontrollable. Sometime out of ignorance, we don't understand that. If you can enlighten a little bit. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. It's you see, there's a cycle, and starts with observation, introspection, realization, and action. Okay? You observe something, and then you think about it. You introspect. You ask this question: is it something that's worth for me to engage in? Right? You can ask this question, and then once you have that, then you get the realization that, oh no, this is not meant for me. I should not do this. Then you take an action. So it's not like an overnight thing that you can figure out. It'll always be a trial and error method. At least in the beginning, it's a trial and error method. Then you think that, oh, I'm not sure if this is under my control, let me try it. And then you realize, no, it's not under my control. So there is no harm in making mistakes as long as we take lessons from it and don't repeat those mistakes. So as I said, you observe something and you introspect. And then you do a realization and you take an action. But then action might not be right. It might be wrong. But then once you learn from it, then don't repeat that mistake again. So similarly, pretty soon, and you'll have an accumulation of wise decisions you have made, and then that'll give you a much clearer picture of what your area of concern is, what your area of influence. It's a trial and error method, bro. And then obviously Prabhupada tells us Prabhupada says that in Bhagavad Gita, that Bhagavad Gita is the Vedic intelligence. When you read Shastras, it hones your intelligence. It makes you very, very sharp. It helps you take the right decisions. Prabhupada says it when we feel that, I'm not sure if this works, but just if you try it, you just keep reading, just read a chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. Feel difference in your decision making, your actions, everything will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for tolerating me. We are at 6:13. Now is Prasadam time. You all can have. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.